I got shavings everywhere. I've been porting the heck out of that Zundapp cylinder, and I'm about to show you. Hello, by the way. Welcome to Patrick Garage. And no mumbo jumbo, let's just get right into it. This is the object of today. Zundapp, part 2 of my series of trying to get 20 wheel horsepowers. intake manifold is very short as can be, and it accepts 28mm carburetors, maybe even bigger. I can measure while we're at it. Oops. Yeah, 28.5. And I probably won't go any bigger. And I got a little trick up my sleeve. It's hard to see, but I got some, you can see there are some, not slots, some stripes or some streaks you can see inside the intake manifold a little bit. That is actually a mini version of a Tesla valve, so to speak. It is anti-reversion grooves. They are smooth to that side, the flow coming from the carburetor. From that side it's smooth. But from this side, when the piston is on its way down and starts to spit out some goodies, it is actually ridges and makes it at the surface it builds bigger eddies and makes it harder to flow backwards than frontwards, so to speak. And I got the intake also a little bit wider here than the intake in the cylinder. That also causes the ridges right, let's see, about a millimeter on each side is like a anti-reverse ridge, or so to speak. I will do more of this later. I just made a couple of them. They aren't beautiful and they don't need to. Air hasn't got eyes. Air just got what do you call it, like sensitivity to flowing against surfaces and how it shapes. It doesn't care how it looks. You can write whatever you want on the surface. You can tell stories and you can do whatever you want, whatever you want to do, but the shape is important. And the surface, if you're doing it like this, ridges, it might create eddies. And eddies is like, when, let's say this is a surface and air flows above it, and not having a knurled surface, so to speak, it might slip and air going that way, and slip, and this creates larger and larger eddies the further they go. And having those ridges also creates eddies to that direction. And eddies is I don't know the word, but high amplitude turbulence, and by that it eats up area, so it flows more in the correct direction and less in the wrong direction. And by that I hope I can get away with having 180-degree intake duration. The transfer duration will be about, I won't say it out loud now, but I'm aiming for 134 all over. Might be some changes in changes to shape to control flow where I want it. And exhaust duration, it's planned, that I can tell you, it's planned to 196. I know guys running more, but I try to, with a decent shaped port and a good pipe, I'll try to get it to produce power anyways. And as far as porting wise then, it's hard to show you right here, but I will point with my chubby little fingers. The front side, this is out exhaust. The front side, I have aimed those backwards more. And the B port, this is A ports then. The A ports front side is aimed backwards more, and the duration is larger. And I have opened it up as if you're opening the duration, the intake port's dimension, you should follow it up all the way up, so you get the correct conical shape to the runner. Intake versus outlet need to have a certain amount of conical shape, but you can have larger shape down in the runner to get something like a buffet. But from intake, inlet in transfers to outlet need to have a delta. And by that I have also dug out the B ports, as I'm thinking this is some old Van Veen porting or what it is, and Athena, it isn't Athena from the beginning, it is Euro Cylindro or whatever the name was. It might be Zeta also, I can't remember. It's many years ago. Made these ports, and they are very small and they're bad aimed. So I'm thinking you can probably get away with having too large in the Panama kit cylinders, having too large. Those have reed valves though, too large and two boosts, and they produce good power. And so I have opened it up, as experienced guy says, is there any port you should open up where the most power gains are? It is the B ports. So I've opened up the area. It is, yeah, I can't say, but almost a double. The whole transfer runner is almost a double in area. And I have opened it up against the crankcase also, of course. The opening is like very small. And now it's more straightforward, and got that I have aimed it. The front wall of the B port is aimed as standard, because I can't actually reach to modify it, but it is about almost against each other, so that's almost good, and almost not bad. But the rear wall, I've hooked them and tried to, the shape of this one, I have get it more backwards, and then a little bit of a hook into the cylinder, and of course larger port opening and more duration. This is what I'm aiming for. And intake, of course, I have said it before, but I don't know if you know it. I have aimed that downwards more, 2mm in a video. Talked about 2mm all the time. Now I'm doing it again. And to get room for this intake manifold that is totally straight, and you can see it right here. This is smaller than that. These are those 2mm. The opening is raised 2mm, and the bottom in the right here is lowered by 2mm. The controversial 2mm. And this is totally straight now, but the intake is aimed more downwards into there will be no bend from carburetor, it's straight shot, but inside here it bends off more into the crankcase, and I can't do anything about it. I need to angle the intake by that, and then mill out even more. I have milled a little bit in the cooling fin right here, and I need to go very extreme by that to have a straight shot. And then the carburetor would lean so much, so I need to, like, let's say the intake is leaning like that, it would be like this no, cylinder is leaning like this, about that. That requires electron downdraft carburetors, and not for this one, they are expensive. And I have aimed this one, not aimed, I've reshaped the skirt here, not for flow, but for as the piston is slapping down here when it's turning around. I don't want the piston to break off the skirt, so I don't want any sharp edges. I will round this off a little bit more, but not as much as this. I don't want any sharp points there where the cracks can begin. It might do something to the flow, I don't know. Guide when flow coming, it might guide it. And nah, that's very minor. So that's where I am, and of course I can tell you, in this B-port is good, but this B-port, this one rattled around a little bit, so I protruded a hole into the bolt. It doesn't matter, but I have JB welded it, and will report it again. It has sat for 24 hours now, and I will leave it till tomorrow before I touch it some more. I've tried a little bit, and it is hard. I got some. It isn't JB weld, it's a Loctite model. Loctite EA 94-97. It worked very good. And oops, I'm allergic to epoxy, so I shouldn't touch this. But it becomes really hard. So it's quite easy to grind, because if it isn't hard, it's just smushing around when grinding it. So that's where I am at that. And that have been talking a little bit about that. And I'll carry on porting some, and then I'll see you in the next one. Let's see, I haven't touched the boost so much. I've touched one, but the other one is not. I can get a little bit of work done in those. Oop. Not. And Olmet also use alcohol booze for grinding in aluminium. It's just it vapors away and squirts away, and often I use a special wax, this one, but I found that with aluminium no, diamond burrs, it actually is better with engine oil. So I'll just pour some oil to the surface like that. Now it's full of oil, because just dipping this one just squirts away and then it's gone. Now I got some oil all over the surface to grind away into, and it squirts around inside where I want it all the time. Can you actually see anything? Because I can't. I probably can't. Can I do something right here for you guys? Right here. And if I'm holding it like this, you might actually see something. And I can't see anything. That's good. In best use, you can see anything, something. It doesn't matter if I see. First I'm digging some trenches to get the shape I want. And then I smooth them out. I'm re-aiming these ones also. I'm aiming them a little bit more towards exhaust, downwards in cylinder from where they were standard. That means I need to dig a trench right here. Now almost out of engine oil. You can see much. Yeah, that's about how we're doing it. And as you can see, how welded, because I need longer ones. And this intake demands you grind off a little bit from this cooling fin to get the... This isn't the right rubber, but it's a rubber. Try to push it on. You guys should know what this is. Putting on a rubber isn't easy when the light is on. Doing it in darkness is always easier. Oh, I pushed it on too long, but no, I can't have it that way. I need to take it off some. Man, it's tough. You're always gonna lose the rubber, but this rubber did just get stuck. Yeah, whatever. Small edge on top, and like this. And now I precisely got enough room for a hose clamp also, when having the right rubber that has a little bit of a ditch, so to speak. And that is about what I've done to this. I got some video, but I don't know if it's possible to see anything, because it's so small, everything. I can't fit in the camera to show you while I'm working what I'm doing. Thereby I often do larger engines. This is so very small and my fingers are so very big. And then I got a porting tool for cars, big ones. I got this Dremel, yes, but this one's a good one. I like this one. This is a homemade tool. This is a Sooner and a special drive system I made and tack welded it, and I haven't got the hose inside now. Yeah, I can regulate the speed quite easily with this one, and it's quite short. But this is, and it's smaller than 45 millimeters. There will be a, you can see I got it just a couple of millimeters shorter, and I can't, this one becomes in the way. I might be able to round this off a little bit, but nah, I'll leave it. I don't want to do 50cc engines because it's so small, and 50cc, so much work for so little power. That's where I am with this one. It holds a sax head. I will modify that one because earlier they had lifted the cylinder to get more duration, and they made a combustion chamber fit that. But now I'll just lay it flat and make new squish and new dome. I'll probably just not make it a new dome. I'll raise the compression instead and run E85. Maybe I'll try that first. Just make new squish and then leave this one. Yeah. And then back to the cylinder. I'll try to show you with the camera a little bit. I'll put on some light. Oh, maybe it's too much, I don't know. I got one more, even lighter, and I got blinking. That's no good. That's no bueno. Take the first one. And I'll try to show you directly from above. There's a lot of hours in this. I would say I got 20, 25 hours. Larger intake. Many people have some opinions why I took away the bar, but you need area. And there's exhaust. Let's see. Mosquito. And you can see it's hard to get the light. Makes shadows and makes tricks on your eyes. It's actually really smooth. Let's see. Take that side. Front is almost standard. I just aimed the front wall more backwards, and B-trans right down there. It's hooked. It is, and then shoop, and then boosts are larger, of course, and re-aimed a little bit like this, not like that. Now it's like, you understand? Well, that's all I had for you. Light and strong, like this. That's all I had today, and I'll see you in the next one. Please subscribe and like and comment below what could be better or what could be worse, and all that things. I can take criticism. And yes, see you later, guys.